With great enthusiasm, I stand before you today at this momentous public lecture of the School of Postgraduate Studies of this great university, Federal University of Technology, Akure. The Federal University of Technology, Akure, has always been a beacon of knowledge and oasis for intellectual curiosity and an incubator for nurturing leaders. I'm very grateful to the management for the opportunity to contribute to this legacy through today's discourse. Ladies and gentlemen, these are peculiar times marked by profound impact of the economic situation in Nigeria, as well as the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and the global politics realignment. These unprecedented events have reshaped the global economic landscape and left us with challenges, uncertainties, and for the discerning mind, opportunities. Hence, we must engage in rigorous and thoughtful conversations about our economic realities and prospects. Entrepreneurship has given me a front seat role to transformative power of ideas in driving economic growth. Through our businesses, I have experienced firsthand the profound changes a thriving venture can bring to a community, a region, or even a nation. These experiences have reiterated the importance of sustainable economic development in lifting people out of poverty, creating opportunities, and fostering progress. As an entrepreneur, with an unwavering passion for transformative change and a vision for a prosperous Africa, it pleases me to present this lecture with the topic, the Research and Entrepreneurship Nexus in Capitalsage Holdings, with a lot of focus on the lessons and opportunities using Capitalsage as a case study. This topic will be dissected into 5 subheadings so we can have a structured discussion. The first would be exploring the current economic landscape for developing nations. The second, the nexus of research and entrepreneurship. Third, harnessing entrepreneurship for nation building. The fourth, sectoral case study in Nigeria. Research, betting, economic miracles. And then we'll conclude on a note of empowering tomorrow's economy. So we'll start with the first one, which is exploring the current economic landscape of developing nation. The Global Economic Prospects, published by the World Bank in January 2023, warned that the global growth slowdown will eat developing nation harvest. And is it not eating us in Nigeria? Yesterday, I just returned from Accra, and I had the opportunity to learn of the macroeconomic situation in Accra. And all I could say is Nigeria is the giant of Africa, but honestly, our situations are all the same. We are the ones collecting, like people would say out there. Similarly, in its World Economic Situation and Prospect in mid-2020, the United Nations reported that the war in Ukraine, coupled with fragile recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, has triggered an increase in food and commodity prices and inflationary pressures worldwide. The deterioration of growth prospects is broad-based, including the world's largest economies, the United States, the European Union, and even China, all of the most developing economies. global economy uncertainty cast long shadow, impacting economies around developing nations. Well, despite the challenges that developing nations grapple with, they still hold great potential regardless. Amid seeing hopelessness, developing nations like Nigeria possess an untapped entrepreneurial potential that can catalyze economic development, echoing the sentiment of David Malpass, the World Bank's president. Even though the world is now in a very tight spot, there should be no room for defeatism. This is following the school of thought that holds that the solutions, people will say, how there. Similarly, in its world economic situation and prospect in mid-2020, the United Nations reported that the war in Ukraine, coupled with fragile recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, has triggered an increase in food and commodity prices and inflationary pressures worldwide. The deterioration of growth prospects is broad-based, including the world's largest economies, the United States, the European Union, and even China, all of the most developing economies. Global economy uncertainty cast long shadow, impacting economies around developing nations. Well, despite the challenges that developing nations grapple with, they still hold great potential regardless. Amid seeing hopelessness, developing nations like Nigeria possess an untapped entrepreneurial potential that can catalyze economic development, echoing the sentiment of David Malpass, the World Bank's president. Even though the world is now in a very tight spot, there should be no room for defeatism. This is following the school of thought that holds that the solutions to the problem of developing nations are well within the nations themselves. The development of Ondo states are well within the states. Development of Nigeria are well within this country. Reflecting on the second focus, which is the nexus of research and entrepreneurship, economic challenges offer fertile ground for creative solutions and bold initiatives. From profound research, being able to birth insightful entrepreneurship ideas, to these insightful entrepreneurship ideas being able to solve deep and real social economic problems, to the ability to take risk and experiment, which can unblock value and growth. What is research? Well, I know among professors, doctors, the learned. So please manage my definition. Remember, I am an ordinary Mr. John Alamu. Research is the foundation upon which the edifice of innovation is built. We copied some definition from Webster's New Oxford Dictionary, 2nd edition, 1979, cited in Ajala 2009, which defines research as a careful, systematic, patient study and an investigation in some field of knowledge, undertaken to discover or establish facts or principles. Research, it also encompasses the essence of questioning, curiosity, and exploration that propels humanity towards progress. There's this other guy, Celtics Reitman and Cook. In 1976, they released this quote, not me. They released this definition, that to research is to search again. Take another, more careful look and find out more. And then, what do we perceive as entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is the identification of business-related opportunities through using existing, new, or recombination of resources in an innovative and creative way. Entrepreneurship is the pursuit of opportunities beyond resources controlled. Entrepreneurs identify with opportunities and pursue them with or without available resources. In Nigeria, this is not the same because we complain a lot about Nigerians' problem. We don't see opportunities. But then, as an entrepreneur, either you have available resources or not, you can excel. Entrepreneurs also find creative and innovative ways to annex their limited resources to exploit an opportunity. Not encouraging internet fraud, Yahoo Yahoo. But you would agree with me that a mumu cannot do Yahoo Yahoo. A mumu cannot eat maga. You cannot get maga because the kind of technological skill set required for even internet fraud is advanced. So it is a challenge to the best university of technology in Nigeria to identify talents, these young ones who will rather channel their gifts and creativity to defraud, channel them to the good cause of developing Africa. Honestly, I didn't know that thing makes sense, so give me clap again. Thank you. The scarcity of resources and opportunities makes research crucial to entrepreneurship. There's always a conflict between people who have skill. So there's a trend in my own generation. People say school is scam. And then they give examples of people who are successful without going to school. However, sorry to disappoint those who think school is scam. School is not scam because both academic and industrial research fuel entrepreneurship. You cannot succeed in business without research. And you can't just have research on shelf. You can't do all of this whole research. Keep it in the library. Keep it in the shelf. Without doing what? Applying it to entrepreneurship. Both goes pari passu. Accessible research democratizes knowledge and encourages individuals from all backgrounds to pursue their entrepreneurial dreams. Doing so stimulates economic growth and advances social and economic equity. There is an interlink between research and entrepreneurship. Research offers insight to recognize market gaps, understand consumer behavior, and innovate. Research enhances risk mitigation through deeper understanding of the challenges ahead to keep entrepreneurs informed and to increase their chance of success. I haven't blown all this grammar. I would speak to how research has aided our entrepreneurial journey in capital. From my own personal perspective, my journey as an entrepreneur started with an insatiable curiosity. Like the madam read during the citation. Come on, I think we need to give it to that madam. She read like a radio station, a radio presenter. Let's give it to her. Let's give it to her. Please stand up again. Let's give it to her again. Yeah. Madam Vice Chancellor, please don't worry. We will not poach her from the university. She's safe. She's safe. Just as she mentioned during the citation, my background is in statistics. I love this school. I love this school. I love this school. I guess that is a statistician that led her. Am I correct? Greatest statistician. Yes. But please do business. So do business. I had the privilege to serve. That's my NYC at the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA, Ibadan. And as a young man, fresh graduate, I almost made a mistake in my life that would have changed my story forever. During posting within IITA, they wanted to post me to research and development. And I was very happy because I studied statistics. Even though my brothers and sisters, I finished statistics with a third class. Nobody clapped for me this time. This life, make calm. Try, make calm. If you finish with third class, they will not clap. But once you become GMD, they will do what? They will clap. So, as you know, low performing as I was, I almost made a mistake to accept the posting to research and development unit of IITA. What do they do there? They use SAS to analyze. And in school, I don't want to tell you what I was doing when lecturers were teaching that made me have third class. But then there was this man who had an opportunity in a project called Harvest Plus. Harvest Plus is the project that brought yellow cassava, that's the vitamin A cassava, to Nigeria. I was part of the team who led the development and dissemination of that variety. And I'm very, very happy to be part of that project. So I missed joining that research unit, and I joined statistics. I joined Harvest Plus. Harvest Plus gave me an opportunity to travel to over 20 countries. Although some by road, I went to Ghana by road. Togo, Benin, count 1, 2, 3 countries. But then it gave me a lot of opportunities, all right, to travel. And when we traveled, we were going around disseminating cassava stems to farmers. But then because I am a statistician, I was much more involved in research. I led many studies, many surveys, a lot of things. And in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, the most common challenges farmers face is 1, access to finance, 2, access to market. Every farmer needs money, not want. They need money. And most farmers do not have best market for their product. We kept doing this research. Meduguri, Akwa Ibom, and we were writing the same reports. I'm sure some of us here are very good in, consultancy jobs. We've taken consultancy jobs, and then we've written all these reports, but nothing is happening. After we publish some of this research work, I was part of, people who were doing that. So I saw opportunities, and in taking advantage of that opportunity, I started with giving 10 women microloans, 10,000 naira, 100,000 naira. And that business, because I am Catholic and I was an altar boy at that time, we called that business Divine Mercy Money Lending. So there were some Muslim women who were like, which one is Divine Mercy? People should change your name to some. Are you serving just Catholics? change your name to a business that is conventional. And we changed from Divine Mercy to Credit Assist. Credit Assist increased its number of customers from 10 women to over 5,000 people borrowing money. And I'm pleased to tell you today that Credit Assist was what metamorphosed to John Vent Industries Limited and metamorphosed to Kolo Money Microfinance. And I will tell you this story very, very shortly. We were giving women loan. They were growing. Interestingly, I see some of those we started together here. When these people plant, all right, we aggregate their produce. We're identifying industries who would offtake their products. But then they were offering very, very ridiculous prices. So we realized that in order to achieve this dream, we needed to build ourselves to become the buyer. Interestingly, in Nigeria, it was a time when, during President Buhari's period, when Naira really, really, was devalued. The opportunity was lowered to two things: agribusiness that can bring dollar to Nigeria. All right. So we changed our strategy to key into that opportunity. We started buying cocoa from farmers, and not only buying cocoa from farmers, we were exporting them so that we could bring in dollars. That cocoa business today is what you have, maybe less than 2 kilometers to this university. We have today what I would say one of the largest cocoa processing factories in Nigeria and in Africa. And I'll tell you why. Today, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, well, after this lecture, we have, our product out there. If you take Milo today, you are taking cocoa, because Milo is cocoa plus malt plus sugar. The cocoa powder is from us. If you do Oluji, so recently we acquired Oluji factory, cocoa pressing plant, a 30,000 metric ton capacity. They produce the popular Oluji powder that some of us know. And for those that do not know, you would have an opportunity to even take the powder today. So we are not just only a beverage company. We decided that from helping farmers to source products and then trading this product, we'll be processing and export. But now, as I speak to you, we have gotten to a stage where we have said, we can't just be having Nestle. Nestle is not indigenous. Nestle, for example, is from Switzerland. They are successful. We want to be like Nestle. So that has made us to acquire the Ondo State Chocolate Factory in Idori community. And, the MDs of these businesses are here. And what you will see coming from Idori in this community, you start seeing chocolate, you start seeing chocolate drink, which is here. You start seeing Maggi, not just cocoa. You see Maggi, you see pap. In fact, we are the sole distributor of Eco Rice. And today we have another factory in the north that produces John Vent rice. So, if you are my friend, that is, third class, that has the opportunity to do your master's or that you're at the postgraduate school, there's opportunity. We need to challenge everybody we finished with first class and 2-1. Do we agree? Thank you. In order to corroborate my point, and in summary, I would like to show you a very short clip by Jeff Bezos. And, it talks about innovation. My co-presenter, because he's my co-presenter, please play this video.
To be innovative, you have to experiment. If you want to have more invention, you need to do more experiments per week, per month, per year, per decade. It's that simple. You cannot invent without experimenting. And here's the other thing about experiments, lots of them fail. If you know it's going to work in advance, it is not an experiment. And what happens in big organizations, Amazon's a big organization now too, the Air Force is a big organization, is that we start to confuse experimentation with operational excellence.
There is no best place or better place to show that clip other than this prestigious university. We all reference Silicon Valley in the United States. But then Silicon Valleys, they allow you to fail. There is a reward for failure. In Nigeria, we punish failure, especially when it comes to research and experiment. When you fail doing your research, as the word implies, research. What does that mean? Do it again. Do it again. And I want to appeal on behalf of all the students to the university to please tender justice with mercy anytime we fail our research. They should not allow us to do it more than 7 times. Is 7 times enough? Okay. That means it's not enough. And they should allow us to redo the research, but it should not, But we should not kill failures. We should not kill failures when it comes to research because it's part of research. Without wasting time, the third pillar that we'll be discussing is harnessing entrepreneurship for nation building. Entrepreneurship is critical for economic development. Phil Libin, the co-founder and former CEO of Evernote, once said that there are a lot of bad reasons to start a company, but there is only one good reason, legitimate reason. It is to change the world. And that quote is from Waters 2012. Harnessing entrepreneurship for nation building has the capacity to promote inclusivity. When entrepreneurship is democratized, barriers to entry are lowered and marginal communities are empowered. I would not do a good justice to this topic without referencing some sectoral case studies. Research is betting economic miracles. And what do I mean? How else does one describe creating something that had never existed in thriving venture, if not a miracle? The miracle of music, movie sector, comedy in the entertainment sector. Let's talk about that briefly. Please, co-presenter, I would speak to entertainment, Afrobeat to be precise. Entrepreneurship has moved Nigerian music from a purgatory of privacy to a high revenue sector producing 35 billion in revenue stream annually. Music has evolved in Nigeria from an era of Alaba piracy syndicate. You see, the first picture is showing pictures of CDs in Alaba market. The day they released Jagun Jagun on Netflix, started seeing people hawking the CDs on the street. There was an era when that was, the main business. But Afrobeat has evolved from that era to emergence of labels. Entrepreneurship does not have to be fancy or new. It just must be grounded in intelligence. You can't say you're starting a business and then there's no iota of intelligence. Everybody will look at you as unserious. Nollywood entrepreneurial producers, actors, and comedians, they understand their audience and landscape. Packaged content are released weekly and uploaded on YouTube. YouTube has become, the platform that offers the easiest entry. Today, if you want your movie to be on Netflix, it needs to be a big budget, 10 million, 50 million, or high budget movies. But you can stay in the corner of your room, hold your phone, record yourself, a 30-second skit, upload on YouTube, and you are making money. You are an entrepreneur. Access to large streams from the diaspora audience with potential massive ad revenue. One thing I have realized with my years of travel is that in Nigeria, there is market for Korean movies, China movies. We see lots of diasporan movies here, especially our women. If they don't watch Z World on DSTV, they will be following Indian or Korean celebrities on social media. Just as it is here in Nigeria, there is a market abroad. Nigerians in diaspora, even, our folks in Europe and United States, they don't watch their movies. They want original African culture. If you see the way they talk about Ramsey Noah outside Nigeria, you'll be like, wow. If you go outside the country and then they talk about RMD, they will be asking you questions as if you are RMD's neighbor. So it's a market, it's an opportunity. Your audience does not necessarily have to be your immediate environment because there's a big market outside the country. Content and comedy skits have become jokers worth billions of naira. Before, when my own generation, when we were much younger, and then we joke, our parents will say, you are wasting your life. But today, if you know how to make people laugh very well, and you have someone that can record you, or a stand like that cameraman, and you do stupid things, crazy things, you are on your path to become a what? So you can either remain poor by living normal, or become rich by what? Let us also reflect on the miracle of digital financial solutions. That's the fintech. When I say fintech, I mean financial technology, which offers services ranging from online banking to digital payments, virtual currency, money exchanges, neobanks, crypto platform, etc. The digital payment and financial solution space has been propelled by young, smart foreigners with an understanding of industry gaps and entrepreneurial minds that will solve critical economic problems. We hear of Andela. Andela was started by Aboyeji and 4 others, and all they did was to start a firm where programmers can be trained. And they are currently in over 6 countries. If you require the service of an engineer, instead of looking outside, all you need to do is to request from Andela. They saw that gap, and now they are known everywhere. An example is Paystack as well. Paystack made a lot of money during COVID when people were unable to, go to the bank. They introduced payment technologies, and it was founded by 2 young people, Shola Akinlade and Exra Olubi. They identified a gap in payment systems and they keyed into it. We know about Flutterwave, we've heard about PiggyVest, and if you've not heard about ECAS and Kolo Money, because That is also what we have created. I will tell you about it today so that you know about Kolo money today. Kolo is a Yoruba language for piggy bank. Some of us keep those boxes, All we did was to digitize Kolo such that you can save as much as low as 100 naira. Kolo would be removing the money from your account and you get interest from it every day. We also have ECAS payment systems that helps you to power payments digitally, USSD, etc. Lastly, I will talk about the miracle of the food and agricultural innovation in the food and agribusiness sector. And I would make reference to Nigeria agripreneurs who have introduced innovative solutions to improve farming practices and enhance the food value chain. We have the A-Food as an example. With A-Food application, you can order from any fast food restaurant. You can order groceries and food items from any market or supermarket. We also have the Vendiz, a business-to-business food market place for restaurants. That's a gap that these guys have identified, and they have built their products, to harness the opportunities in the food sector. I would also speak about John Vent. We have the John Vent trading, where we aggregate soya bean, aggregate sesame seeds, aggregate rice, sorghum and millet from farmers, and then we export. But then because rice is consumed locally, we sell rice locally. We also have the John Vent cocoa, like I did mention, and John Vent Foods, premium cocoa products Ileoluji, having All In, which is our logistics arm that is helping to address logistics and logistics problems across these different businesses. Every great entrepreneur must first be a researcher. From the great Elon Musk, even though that guy, I don't understand him, his own is more than research, his own something else is. Achieving his pace, expedition to Olugbenga JB Ayola, the guy who founded a fintech unicorn in less than a decade, to ordinary Mr. John Adedamola Alamu, building the next gen indigenous conglomerate from fintech to agribusiness. The transformation we seek demands collaborative effort. Today, find a problem, see the problem as an opportunity. You would always have people you would always have financial institutions to back you up. In this all today, there are our friends from Nexus, the Nigerian Import and Export Bank, led by Mr. Paul and his colleague. Please stand up, As you are seeing them in suits, if you need money after, what will you do? Build them. All right? These are people who are providing financial solutions, to entrepreneurs, especially those who are focused on import and export. The transformation, again, that we seek demands a collaborative effort. This collaboration encompasses investments in research and development, entrepreneurial education, supportive policies, monitoring and evaluation, and practical application of acquired knowledge. With this opportunity, we will discuss further with the management on how to also partner with FUTA on research opportunities, because we are in the manufacturing sector and we need more research to improve on our efficiency. Don't forget, identify a problem today and create an opportunity. With this viewpoint of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse. Thank you very much for your time.